Hello, I'm Ryan Grace. I'm running for Media Borough Council. Everyone who lives in media knows it is a beautiful and fun, vibrant place. And everyone who lives here also knows it's growing. The town itself and the area surrounding it have grown dramatically in recent years. Some people think that growth is exciting. Other people think it's annoying. But whichever way your pleasure tends, you can't actually stop populations from increasing. So if your local government tries to stifle growth or just doesn't plan for it because they hope it doesn't happen, they're just going to end up suppressing the excitement and the vibrance of the town. Media will lose its fun feel and just get crowded anyway. On the other hand, if we manage growth and intentionally plan for it, we can benefit from it financially, but more importantly, we can make sure that we preserve our green open spaces and maintain media's small town spirit. It's time to take control of media's growth. The most obvious example of the kind of crowding that happens when you don't take control of growth is our current parking crisis. Almost every day, business owners, visitors, and residents talk to me about the growing lack of parking. And as an attorney that works at the courthouse, I understand how much worse this problem became when the county parking lot suddenly had to be demolished. But the fact is, there was already a need for more parking in media before that happened to the county parking lot. In fact, back in 2015, Borough Council commissioned and paid for a comprehensive report that made recommendations for a variety of topics all over town. And it made a lot of suggestions for embracing growth that Borough Council just ignored. When it comes to parking, first of all, the report recommended more of it. And specifically, it suggested that we should build a multi-level parking structure on the corner of Baltimore and Orange, between the Wells Fargo Bank and the Wine and Spirit Shop. It also suggested that we should make the first story of this parking structure retail. That way we can rent out that space, and with the parking itself, this multi-level structure can become a real profit generator for the borough. We should start the process of building this new parking structure as soon as possible. And when I'm elected to Borough Council, it'll be my first priority. Of course, construction of this parking lot will mean closing the current surface lot that's already there. And there are 57 spots there. Since this is no time to lose parking in media, the borough is going to have to consider options like a temporary satellite parking lot with shuttle service to and from State Street. This investment in our future will not only be a profit generator for the borough, but more importantly, this will be the first step in finally catching up with our region's growth. The construction itself will be inconvenient, but we have to act now. This problem will obviously only get worse. In fact, we should have done this back in 2015 when it was recommended to the council. And you know what? That's the least of what you should expect from your elected officials. You deserve someone on Borough Council who would have envisioned this problem coming even years earlier. And speaking of vision, I have one for the future of retail and media. When I'm on Borough Council, I'm going to work with the Media Business Authority, the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, and regional business owners to try to bring new and exciting options for shopping to complement our great restaurants. I also want to work on creating a small business event day where we close down State Street like Super Sunday, but with a focus on our own local retail. By enhancing media's retail experience, we can take the overall visitor experience to that next level so that media doesn't get stale, but instead continues to be vibrant and exciting. Now, growth, of course, always comes with some painful side effects, and one of them is traffic. So we need to take steps to relieve congestion for drivers, but more importantly, to make sure that our streets are safe for families and children. And the most fundamental way to relieve traffic in media is to finally reopen the 3rd Street Bridge. Now, thanks to the fact that 3rd Street is a one-way street in the center of town right near Borough Hall, means that it's not going to become a busy road filled with people cutting through town. There's just too many turns. But simply having a point to enter and exit media on the northwest side of the borough will relieve the pressure that we have on Providence Road and Baltimore Pike, where we see the most traffic and too many accidents. And as we relieve the pressure there, we have to simultaneously slow down cars in the heart of the borough. We need more traffic calming devices, like speed bumps, and more rigorous stop sign enforcement, because as growth happens in the region, there is nothing more important than the safety of our families and children. You see, reopening the 3rd Street Bridge is a great example of how you can take control of growth instead of just letting the town get more crowded, but it's also a great example of how you can do so in a way that preserves the unique character of our town. And what I mean by that is that we should reopen 3rd Street as a bridge and not a dam. This way forward relieves the pressure of traffic, it accommodates coming growth, but most importantly, it preserves the green nature of our town. If we manage growth correctly, we can make sure that most or all of it is green growth. First, I want to start a borough program to identify properties that are developed but underutilized. That way we can preserve open spaces by directing and targeting new growth to properties that have already been developed in some way. And I want to explore ways to update and modernize our recycling system, especially in the commercial center of town. And we have to reposition our borough trash cans so that they are strategically as far away from storm drains as possible. And since protecting the earth also comes down to personal action, I want to start a citizen waste awareness campaign. Official figures tell us that every person generates 1 full ton of trash and recyclables every year, and that 75% of that goes into the ground. Media can do its part in protecting the environment by reducing waste with a citizen awareness campaign. And I want to make media more bicycle friendly. That 2015 comprehensive report that I mentioned suggested that we should adopt bike lanes and even laid out a specific plan for doing so. We should adopt that. The incumbents who are already on Borough Council have a slogan for this election: keep media on track. The problem with that is that if we don't take steps now to manage growth, the track that media is on is a track toward being an overcrowded town. But I'm excited for media's future, and I think you should be too, because I know that we can rise to the challenge of maximizing our region's very exciting growth, but at the same time, preserving the unique character of everyone's hometown. I'm Ryan Grace, and running for Media Borough Council. I'll see you around.